peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Thank you very much, viewers. Today, COMESA is sitting in Nairobi to find out how free trade can unite the countries of COMESA and Africa. The trade in Africa has been a trade of cut off, cut on, put back, switch off, switch back. The common market for East and Central Africa and Southern Africa, which is commonly known as COMESA, puts us a step forward towards integration of Africa and accelerates the integration of Africa. I believe in building block by block of integration of Africa. I believe in building inch by inch, country by country, removing all the tariffs that have hindered Africa from trading freely amongst themselves. Africa's population can buy its own goods. African population can purchase, can import materials that are not needed, that are not in Africa, but can import from each other the materials that are available. This can be done without any further push, any further pull from any of the countries. You might have differences with Europe, but you can also solve those differences by uniting with Africa in order to trade with Europe. It is therefore very important for Africa and Africans to encourage such meetings, like the meeting that is attended by President Museveni, President Uhuru Kenyatta, President Lungu, President of Madagascar, and other COMESA leaders who are in town to discuss the trade, free trade amongst COMESA countries. The East African Common Market of the East African Community is one of the blocks that will build COMESA into an African free trade zone. I encourage, I support, we stand by all the deliberations that are being conducted in Nairobi. Thank you, viewers.
My name is Bishop Dr.
John Warari. I come to you to give you hope. 80% of those who have the infection are recovering. So we must not lose hope. Follow the instructions of the Ministry of Health. Simple instructions. 1, we have been told to sanitize, to clean our hands as often as possible. As you wash your hands, do it for about 20 seconds. That one will keep away and destroy the virus that could have been in your hands. It is important for us not to use our hands in greeting each other. For more information, kindly dial 719 and you will get help, or you can go to your phone and press *719# and you will get more information. Komesha Corona.
In any developed democracy, or nurtured democracy, or developing democracy, all these three tenets stand with independence of views, but not interconflicting views. They run on consensus, but above all rises the governance structure of a government. There is a head of government who is the president of the Republic of any country. For example, Kenya. He represents Kenya in the international community, foreign policy, internal policy, health policy, legal policy. He cannot be a president without telling the people, showing the direction on how the legal framework is being utilized in any of his, on the citizens of his country. Therefore, President Uhuru Kenyatta stands as a symbol of the nation who should be respected at all times. Respect can be equalized, but there is more. That's why President Uhuru Kenyatta was sworn in by Maraga, but not as an equal to Maraga, but as a president of the Republic of Kenya. Equally, when the Chief Justice comes to swear in, where does he swear in? In front of who? That shows you the power matrix that lies in this state of governance, the structure of governance, of governing a state and a democratic institution. Therefore, it is only men who stopped outside classrooms, who did not know, who will not know, who are not able to know the difference between the judicial and the chief executive of the executive, who is the president of the Republic of Kenya. So whom does he pay allegiance to? The president of the Republic of Kenya. Therefore, under Article 171, 1A, it is very clear that the recommendations made by JSC in Article 172, 1A are very clear. The president received the recommended names, but has to sit down to make his decision on how, whom. It takes time at times with this recommendation that some of the intelligence must be corroborated with international agencies, especially when it touches money laundering. Therefore, on this one, President Uhuru Kenyatta is right. Thank you very much, my viewers.
Mimi naitwa Elio Dibio. Mimi ndio mwenyekiti wa Kamukunji Jua Kali Association. Nataka kusema kwamba hii ugonjwa wa coronavirus ni ugonjwa ambao uko na unashika kila mtu ambaye anaweza kuwa in contact na mtu mwingine ambaye ako nao ama amegusa kitu ambacho kimeguswa na mtu ambaye ako nayo.
Let us wash our hands. Let us keep the social distance given, at least 1 meter away from one another. Let us avoid all gatherings, unnecessary gatherings. People believe that sanitizer is the main thing to fight the scourge. Let us just use the soap we have at home, even the bar soaps. So long as we maintain the cleanliness that is required, we are going to fight this.
Ili tubambane na hii ugonjwa ni lazima unawe. Hiyo ndio sababu kama sekta tumeweka hizi mtungi kila mahali ya kunawisa mkono. Na tena tunasema ya kwamba ukiwa unafanya kazi hapa, ama wewe ni customer, ama wewe ni mpita njia, ukikuja lazima unawe. Hiyo ndio kusaidia na ndio kukinga hii ugonjwa.
Hii mitungi ya kunawia mikono, mebasi wetu walichukua jukumu, wanatengeneza hizi mitungi na wanauza kwa bei nafuu, kwa sababu wanapotengeneza hii mitungi sio biashara tu ama pesa tunatafuta. Tunatafuta kwamba hii mitungi iweze kufikia kila mtu, ndio watu waweze kunawa mikono na waweze kujikinga na hii ugonjwa. Si serikali ambayo inaweza kutusaidia peke yake, ni sisi wenyewe pia tusaidiane kwa kufuatilia ile mambo ambayo tunaambiwa na serikali.
For more information, please dial 719 or *719#. You'll get help immediately from the relevant authorities, particularly from the Ministry of Health.
Pamoja tukomeze corona.
Political science gives a timing that everything goes with time. There is time for elections and there is time for development. What ails and what ailed Jubilee Party at the beginning is they mixed politics with development. The big four agendas seem to have been forgotten and left in the drawing board. But there is hope that we shall surmount, come over, go through this trying times of Covid-19. But once Kenya goes through Covid-19, there must be strategies first to make sure that debts are paid, to make sure the economy still remains afloat, to make sure that politics takes the back burner of all this. What has destroyed the fight against Covid-19 is mixed signals. The mixed signals that come when the new messenger by name of CSS Mutahi Kagwe has put up messages. Other sections of the community put different messages. That has killed the spirit to fight Covid-19. 90% of Kenyans abide by the rules. Most of them are in the rural areas. They have sat where to where until the government tells them it is over. But we have 10% of people who refuse to wear masks, who come over from Tanzanian border and enters without being checked, helped by the police and other people also. Then on the question of the economy, we need to tighten ourselves, that there is no economy in Africa and the world that will not be affected by the current pressures of COVID-19 disease, pandemic that has destabilize the world markets, destabilize the economy itself, led to the oil prices to drop completely, and hence no industry, no manufacturing, no production has taken place. It is therefore my humble request as an African that the people of Kenya listen to the president, calm down, put their smaller differences aside, and work for the government, with the government, for the government, in order to fight COVID-19. Less than that, Mutahi Kagwe, CS, has to change, has to do what we call fatigue evaluation. Are we moving forward? Are we moving backwards? How backwards do we move? How forward? How do we go there? What is left? What can be done? What more measures can be added on the current restrictions? Remember, Kenya is working under the Public Health Act. It has not invoked any other act. It has not invoked any presidential act that, or the president has not asked for state of emergency. That will make him work harder, tougher in the way other presidents are working. He has done his best, he will do his best, but all we need is unity of purpose. Let the people unite so that COVID-19 is over and the people start flying out, flying in, tourists come in, and that will be the answer. And the Kenya will rise and shine again. Thank you. Conflicts in Africa have become the daily occurrence. Daily occurrences in many countries, in the sense that almost every African country, apart from the few, there is tension. One wonders where this tension at times comes from. Some of it comes from elections, a manufactured election, a disputed election results. Some come from territory, Some are terrorist-based, like that of Somalia and Boko Haram. Some are, because of regime change, purely sponsored by external forces. But 95 to 96% of conflicts in Africa occur through the sponsorship of external darker forces that would like to benefit out of the spoils of war. George Soros stands as one person who has always been and will always be and shall be until the end, a man who sponsors any type of chaos, who does not follow which type of chaos he is sponsoring, as long as it is chaos that can topple a person he hates in Africa. Many African countries are undergoing this pressure, this tension, especially those that are conducting elections and whose timetable for elections seem to be coming in the near future. As a result of that, Africa stands warned, and Africa must stand on alert about the external forces that want to dismember this continent and create heavens of war, create insecurity, create mirage peace that Africans have fought after 66 years of gaining political independence. It is therefore my submission that most African countries, if they don't look at what George Soros is doing, we might have a shocker one morning, one by one African country being pushed out and the leaders being pushed out of power. The events therefore in South Africa, as proved from these detailed undercover operations, they prove that George Soros indeed has a say in South African politics. And therefore, we want to urge Africans and African heads of state and their military and intelligence systems to be careful and watch on the amount of money that is being pumped into their economies, because some of the money could be George Soros money that will end up to bring public disorder in most of the African countries. Thank you very much, viewers.
My name is Sophie Mwanyumba from the Ministry of Health and working under National Public Health Labs. Today we are visiting the quarantine sites within Nairobi, and the teams are being dispatched out to go and visit the sites. We have the forms which we are going to use to capture the information of the visitors who came from in the country. And we also have the sample collection apparatus, which we have the oropharyngeal swabs and the nasal swabs. And each person is supposed to be taken the two samples, the nasal swab and the oropharyngeal swab. We have our PPEs to protect ourselves. We have the safety gears where we are having this, and the disinfection for disinfecting the apparatus which we are going to use. The waste, we have the biohazard bags where we are going to put all the waste which is generated within the site where we are collecting the specimen. We have the biohazard bags to safeguard the environment. And with us, we have the transport media, because we have to make sure that the samples which we are going to carry, they are if the virus is there, they are viable. So we have the transport media which we are carrying with us, and we are maintaining the cold chain, because we have the cool box which is equipped with the ice packs to maintain the cold chain of the virus of the samples as we come back. To my fellow Kenyans, I have a word for you today. Kindly stay at home. I am at work to safeguard the environment and to safeguard ourselves. The corona is real. It is real with us. So please let us stay at home as the health workers continue working and supporting the government or the guidelines which have been put on place.
Fellow Africans, since 19 1957, when Ghana gained independence, there has been quite a lot of political, social, economic indicators on the African continent that show that Africa has progressed from pre-independence Africa to post-independence Africa.
Ghana, your beloved country, is free forever. From now on, there is a new African in the world. That new African is ready to fight his own battle and show that after all, the black man is capable of managing his own affairs.
66 years down the road, Africa finds itself with the first country, Ghana, having gained independence. We find ourselves still locked up, controlled, manipulated, instructed, logistically supplied, equipped by foreign powers that dictate our agenda. Africa is endowed with plenty of minerals, resources, good weather. The climate is so favorable for the growth of food enough to sustain us. But we find ourselves in countries where hunger is killing people. Hunger is killing people because most of the people have taken to arms to fight wars, conflicts. Starvation has taken the place of development. In most African countries like Sudan, South Sudan, Central African Republic, Cameroon, Nigeria, in Biafra, and north of Nigeria there is Boko Haram, Somalia in the Horn of East Africa. We have taken to conflict instead of development. Development was the key indicator. When Kwame Nkrumah made the first speech that seek ye African political unity, economic development will come automatically, he was right. The events happening in Libya today vindicates Nkrumah, vindicates Nyerere, Sekou Toure, and Nasser, the founding fathers of our Pan-Africanism. The events happening in Central African Republic, in Congo today, as the war of rebels ranges on between the rebel and the rebels and the government and the rebels, vindicates the founding fathers of this revolution. Our independence, therefore, was only on paper. Our independence, therefore, was only in symbols. Our independence also was in signs. Our independence also was in boundaries. That we received our flags, but we never received full independence as by the word independence. Most of the 3/4 of African countries, French-speaking countries, have their budgets being done in Paris. Is that independence? The Paris government or the French government does its budgets based on how much they will get from African countries. Is that independence? Is this the Africa that you want? Is it the Africa that we must look at? Is it the Africa that we shall leave for the future generation? If the answer to you is yes, then so be it. But if the answer is no, you agree with me that this is not the Africa we want to live for the future generation. Our generations and the future generation need to find a legacy. What is the legacy that Africa and African Union will leave for the future generation? The wars ranging in Libya, in South Sudan, in Khartoum, in Mogadishu, in DRC Congo, in Amazonia, in Cameroon, Boko Haram, Mali, in Mauritania, the uprisings in Algeria, all point to one thing, that yes, we are not yet independent. We are still controlled by external forces. Thank you.
In the case of China, small reforms have been going on all the time in the political system. We fix problems here and there. But I said, problem is the United States. Your political system was a product of pre-industrial era. And I made a forecast. I said, without significant, substantial political reform, my concern is in your next elections, you will produce a leader worse off than George W. Bush.
Yes. So then,
Yeah.
so it was you, it was not the Russians.
Yeah. So this is the Chinese humble advice we can offer. But China is a civilizational state. I remember when Henry Kissinger wrote his famous book on China, he started with this quote. He said, my goodness, look at this China. It's different. China uses this unique language, which started 3,500 years ago. It's 1,000 years earlier than ancient Greek, 1,005 years earlier than ancient Latin. But these two European languages were dead languages. Chinese are still using the same language. This line of culture and continuation of civilization, uninterrupted. So this is why we have, indeed, for instance, this whole idea of meritocracy. Why I say confident? I said with my debate with Professor Fukuyama, I said, if you look at the top leadership in China, we've just had the party's Congress, minimum requirement, 2 terms of provincial governor or similar position, which means you have to govern at least 100 million people, given the size of China, before you came to one of the top 7 positions, decision-making bodies. I said to Fukuyama, I said, with this Chinese methodology, meritocracy-based system, we can say with certainty, we can improve the system. There are problems, we can fix it. But we will not produce any leaders like George W. Bush. It's way below the Chinese bar. That's my point.
When President Uhuru Kenyatta thought of a nation, a peaceful nation, a united nation called Kenya, he scored highly to the international community and to Kenyans. When the former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga thought of a nation called Kenya, he scored highly. It is that redemption strategy, the coming together of opposition and the government, the president and the former opposition leader, or the opposition leader of Kenya, that has made Kenya peaceful, united, working together to date. It is therefore very important for the people of Kenya to realize that the most important thing that every African looks at when talking about Kenya is peace. But what kills Kenya is tribal enclaves, bad elections, bad electoral mechanisms, bad political morals. People lack political morals. People lack good electoral mechanisms. People think of tribes. It is not the poor, it is not the rich, it is not the destiny, it is not the hustler nation. No. Those have been there for many times, many years. But what has killed the country is that those one key thing, elections. If Kenya can sort out its electoral mechanism, that a winning candidate embraces a losing candidate, and a losing candidate embraces a winning candidate. You work together as a nation, work together as a people of Kenya. That's the day that Kenya will rise and become a very good country, beyond what it is today. But the moment we go back to our tribal enclaves, we poison the politics. We play Machiavellian politics of backstabbing, intrigue, manipulation, machinations that flow in the Kenyan political arena. It's the moment that we destroy the same nation that needs that unity. President Uhuru Kenyatta, therefore, don't give up. Former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, don't give up on unity or purpose. Always strive to unite, leave a legacy of a united Kenya. That is the price you will give to the generations, the grandchildren, to your generations that will come. You might not be there to see the price that you have, the foundation you have laid. But once you leave that legacy of a united, peaceful Kenya, both of you and many other leaders in Kenya should not give up in search for that unity. I thank you very much. Those are my views. I believe a redemption strategy, and I repeat, a redemption strategy, the healing, reconciliation, reparation, accountability, truth-telling, those are the values of the handshake, a united Kenya with capacity to accommodate all. Thank you. Thank you, listeners.
Hamjamboni, kwa majina naitwa Priscilla Mwikali Makau. Mimi ni daktari katika hospitali yetu kuu ya Mathare inayoshughulikia mambo na changamoto za akili. Wakati kama huu unaweza kupitia mambo mengi, wafikiria sana, mafikirio yako yako mengi, yanasongamana, magombana na watu. Tuomba uweze kutumia nambari 1199 ili uweze kupatana na mhudumu wa afya kwa upande mwingine. Pamoja tukomeshe corona.
Today marks a great day for me, for us in Pan-African Forum UK Limited. Stand above the threats, intimidation, blackmailing that people receive, so as not to speak about what is happening in Somalia. The matter of the Somali link or Somalia link with Qatar must be discussed openly by countries that are taking part in Somalia. The pacification of Somalia, for Somalia to become a state again, there is need for cooperation. The cooperation to bring about peace is more important than the cooperation of countries that are seeking minerals, diamonds, gold, oil, skins, animals, and the rest from Somalia. My organization does not have a share, neither is it seeking to get anything, but to have Somalia and to protect the Ugandan and the Kenyan troops, plus Burundian troops that have gone to do a good job in Somalia. Every time we hear reports of money laundering. Some people think it is difficult to find out who has laundered which money, where and how. For us in Pan-African Forum UK Limited, we have networks that have exposed even the ICC before, and we have brought it to its knees for this type of money laundering. Qatar has become the main funder of terrorism in the world. We can now safely agree and safely agree to the people, the countries, especially those countries like Saudi Arabia, that say Qatar is a terrorist organization. It's not a country. Qatar is funding terrorist activities, coming in as economic saviors of some countries in Africa, while they are sponsoring terror groups that are expanding on the coastal line of the Indian Ocean up to Mozambique. It is therefore my duty as an African and us as Africans to point out these mistakes such that the people can take these mistakes, correct them, and point out to Qatar to stop funding terror activities. Two, it is also very important for the people of Kenya to know that Al-Shabaab, Eritrea, Ethiopia are trading out a deal that will leave Kenya and Uganda in a mess. It is important that Farimajo should not lie to you that he is not having these deals or these negotiations are not taking place. We have evidence, concrete in black and white, of these meetings that are taking place on a daily basis in one of the capitals of the world called Doha and Asmara. These meetings have been taking place and they are taking place, and that is why the United Nations Security Council failed to condemn Al-Shabaab as a terrorist group. One would wonder why condemn the Taliban, why condemn Boko Haram, but failed to condemn Al-Shabaab, which has killed us Kenyans, killed us Ugandans, killed Somalis in hundreds and hundreds. Why? 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 Can a government of Farimajo guarantee our peace? The shooting down of a plane commandeered by Ethiopians who are guarding the ground at the flower, who were told the plane had a humanitarian agency, is very dangerous. There is no diplomacy here. The truth must prevail. Ethiopia should stop engaging itself in activities that are going to create hegemony of the world's hegemony in the region. Thank you very much. God bless all of you. God bless Africa. God bless the Pearl of Africa. God bless Kenya. Keep our troops in Kismayo. Give them strength. Our troops in Mogadishu. Give them strength. We shall, tomorrow or days to come, talk to the owner of the plane that was brought down. We are going to expose all this. We have evidence. It's not local, it is inside. We know what happens and we know what is taking place. Farimajo, Hassan Hari have become axes of evil. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Dr. Eva Jenga. I'm the chair of the Kenya Medical and Dentist Council. Today we came here with a team from the Ministry of Health and from the Kenya Medical Council, as well as from the Kenya Medical and Dentist Union. We are here to represent the government on a task to come and verify the quality of the PPEs that are being made by Shona. Shona is one of the local manufacturers that have been identified to most likely will be able to produce the PPEs en masse for this country, which we need so badly. And today our task was to come and see the quality and also the capability of the output and the turnaround of production of these PPEs. We have come and seen the type of masks that they are making, a full PPE where we have the coverall with the boots.
Express, where we get to look at the news making headlines in Kenya and of course the latest in this country, and then later on we shall come with the news making headlines across the continent at around 12 there. Thank you so much. From the Political Command Center is Dr. David Matanga. Doctor, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Miriam. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you today?
Fine, thanks. Viewers, this is a show that mainly looks at Kenya's situation, at the newspapers, headlines, the COVID-19 situation in Kenya, Africa, East Africa. As you are aware, we are still grappling with the news of the death of one of the heads of state in the East African region by name Pierre Nkurunziza. And we pray for the family, we pray for the people of Burundi that at a certain stage they should not go into conflict, but sort their problems amicably so that the people don't suffer again. As you know, Burundi has suffered from the war for several years. Presidents have been killed, assassinated. The minority groups have been harassed in that region of Great Lakes region of Africa. So, good morning, viewers. Back to the studio for Miriam to bring out the numbers. They seem not to be going down. We seem not to have, Kenyans seem to say, when shall we have a day when these shockers don't come? Is it also possible right now to continue announcing every day? Because time has reached for fatigue evaluation of this exercise. We needed ventilators at the beginning. We don't need them anymore, Miriam. We need them, but not much. What is needed now, it means we are going to a phase which needs home care. In home care, you talk about food. So government should start planning. If you are going to test these guys and send them home, some of them will not be working. They will need food. So we should have people planning on those lines. I don't know how many times I can say it. That's why today I'm not in my mood. I will just have to say what I can, the little that I can, Miriam, and then I leave it God. I've done my best. Every morning I come here to give a view. Those who have learned, picked a bit of things, they have. But how long can we give this sad news? You can be giving sad news, but at one time come with a solution. Where are our volunteers? How have we prepared our people to have food? We are sending them home, mark you. We are about to open planes. These planes will be bringing us more. People want everything opened, but they don't know that the planes will bring us more corona. Everybody coming at the airport must take over our hotels. The hotels, are they going to function? At the moment, I would be thinking the Ministry of Health and other government agencies must be thinking, must be having people of Matanga type thinking all the time. They haven't involved volunteers to think for them. Everybody who goes there to sit in those meetings want money. Money. Every Kenyan wants money. Everybody creates a room for money. An expert, I want some money. Why don't you do something for free?
But also, Doctor, yesterday when I was listening to that daily update, and I think we need the daily update. I think it's important. Kenyans needs to know every day where we are as a country. But also, I heard when they were making the daily announcements yesterday, the Minister of Health, they quoted something we've been saying here. I think we talked about it last week and the other week, that for this to be effective now, we perhaps need to involve community workers who understand these areas. A place like Kibra, Mathare, they have a lot of community workers who have been working with them, even in terms of HIV and these other diseases and all that. And yesterday, the Ministry of Health came out and said now they'll start engaging with community workers, even as they think about how they're going to the home care and all that. But they said right now it's important to involve community workers. And this is something that we've been saying here. So I'm happy somebody there perhaps watches us and they take some of our ideas. And it's a good thing that we are doing our part. And I'm happy to say that we're happy to help in whichever way we can as Punchline Africa.
No, we for sure that one, Miriam, I told you yesterday, we are blessed that our television, at least the minister, my friend, looks at what we say. Community workers, the Minister of Social Services. You see, there is one notion that I've seen in Kenya, which I want you to correct me if I'm wrong. If a disease affects the Ministry of Social Services, the disease affects the Minister of Health. The docket falls under the Ministry of Health. What the Kenyan ministers have forgotten, that you who produces social workers and community workers, Cherungui, you should be also activating your ministry. You, Amina Mohammed, should also activating your ministry, because COVID will affect you. Your ministry was relying on the amount of money that the runners bring, but they are not running now. They will start drinking busa, waraji. What is this brew? Special? Yes. Then when they say, set on your mark, set, go, Japan. All of them will be testing busa. So it is not only Mutahi Kagwe, Miriam. All of us, all the ministries in the government are affected. Magoha is affected. Students at home. Mr. Matiang is affected. Prisoners in industrial area are getting sick. Foreign affairs is affected. Planes are still arriving with foreigners. The World Health Organization regulation is that you treat them where they have landed. Hakuna kuwarudisha. Because once you rudisha, watakata your funding. When a Congolese arrives at Jomo Kenyatta Airport, mupime, muweke kwa dawa. Because if you don't weka him the dawa anakufa kwa ndege nyuma, we uko na shida. International, every ministry is involved. I don't know why, in the name of God, that some ministers have sat back. Agriculture should be preparing nutrition. Mr. Munya should be coming with mangoes, fruits on this press conference. Wajama, take time and look at Museveni's press conference. Just look at Museveni's press conference. Every professor from Makerere University is around. When it is a question of distance, we have left the same people a month. No! Bring some other operatives.
Doctor, what difference will that make, bringing other faces?
Very big difference. It builds one thing called confidence.
All right.
I studied PR. If there is anybody who wants to challenge me on it, we write an exam. If you bring different, if I bring different Miriams, and they are always here, another one comes with another view, another one comes with this, we sit, it builds confidence among the Kenyans. They say, this thing is real. Bring people who talk about alcohol. Bring people who talk about stress management. Yes. Remember, there are people who even want to kill their own children. Some of the parents told you yourself that they are fed up with these kids being in the house. Sure. So bring in those type of people. I did not study these subjects, but I'm telling you, Miriam, yesterday I was watching Mr. Nelson Harvey versus Manyora. Very sad. Being a lawyer does not mean you know everything on earth. Manyora is vast in politics. What Manyora was telling Harvey is correct. And I'm telling you, Harvey would not go a long way. Before the end, before next year, June, they would have voted him out of this seat. The LSK is going to be embarrassed with the type of language he uses, because he's more or less of a kid. There's no difference between Harvey and the Murkomen. When they get seats, ma'am, they want to kill everybody. So people look, Miriam, you should bring an expert for temperament.
For temperament?
Yes, temperament.
That should fall under what, psychology or psychology society?
Yes, bring a temperamental man on the show, on the press conference. That can tame Maraga's temperature. Maraga is purely temperament.
His temperamental.
So if you land in the court of such a judge, in the morning when Maraga is charged from home, he will send you to the gallows. That's why in Britain, in America, before you are selected to be an owner of the gun, before you are given a driving license, because they are giving you a 4 wheels to go and kill people. If they don't tame you and know you know how to drive. Before you become a judge in the United States Kingdom, let me talk of the place I know. My house, the next neighbor in London is a judge of Old Bailey. I learned a lot from this man. Miriam, he taught me who I am. I became a lawyer, more or less. You know, that's how I managed to freeze these guys who come. Because he just said, look at this African. Let me teach him how they operate. And he started thinking that he's torturing me. But he was teaching me a lot of things. He could even tell me, can I help you? Like this is not international law. That one they have erred here. But it took me, you know how long I took to learn that this was my judge. This was a judge. He's a neighbor. I lived there for 9 years. When the wife died, is when the children came to say, please, can you look after that? When we are not here, please call us. Then I went in, I said, all along, I've been living with a judge next to me. You can't know that the guy was a judge of Old Bailey, which is in London. The High Court, the court, the biggest maybe in the Commonwealth. I didn't know. The models, the way he even calls you when he's going to the market, to the supermarket, he stops at the gate. This guy used to come at the gate. And I used to ask, who is this guy? He got interested in one of my children. And they could even call and say, is he around today? Where's your dad? I could be inside the... First of all, I feared. As a single parent, I said, is this man, what is he trying to do? When he learned that I was a single parent, he almost came on a daily basis. Evening. That is the life that, Miriam, we need people. Why you need on the press conference several other facets. Can we call them facets of life? If it's a man, physical trainer, we need to bring us something. People have got to be taught how to do exercise. People are inside the houses. It's not corona. What is going to kill them is weight. They are eating from morning after evening. You need to bring an expert of domestic violence. You need to bring people to talk about domestic violence. Not only the minister. The minister can come to announce his final, I think, in fact, they are listening now, so let's talk, frame it nicely. The minister can come to announce finally, today, this is our results. After 200 or 2,000 so far of samples, we have got 200 or 150 or 100 or 0. Deaths so much, recovered so much. But the rest of these other people, you try that method. You will see how people will be confident. While the public needs to see that the government they elected is functional. It has brains. Okay, thank you.
Okay, I was communicating something, the production there. But yes, Doctor, I understand what you're saying. And yes, because COVID-19 has really affected different facets of Kenyan lives in terms of health, in terms of nutrition, in terms of everything, their mental status right now. So I think what you're saying is quite valid, and we need all these experts there. Every now and then they should be exchanging different experts who can come and give different advices to Kenyans, because COVID-19 has not just made us wear masks and all that, but also has affected different facets of our daily lives, our mental health. Everything has been, turned upside down. So even as people are struggling to cope, there should be, if Kenyans can get an expert in different areas, I think that will be very vital. And this is an advice that we are hoping that Ministry of Health will pick, as they have been picking a lot of the things, Doctor, we have been saying here. So now the Kenyan figures as they stand this morning is at 3,094. 89 people have died, 1,048 others have recovered. Uganda, the figures have gone up there at 665. Recoveries is 119. Zimbabwe, 320. 4 people have died. Recovery is at 49. South Sudan, still the same. Sudan, 6,582. 401 people have died. Recovery is 2,202. And we go to Rwanda, 472. 2 people have died, and recoveries in Rwanda is at 307. So recoveries from Rwanda there is quite impressive, Doctor. And of course, South Africa right now the figure stands at 55,421. The death toll is 1,210. Recoveries is 31,505. Burundi's the figures there haven't changed. So the total number of confirmed cases in Africa this morning is at 208,855, and the number of deaths is 5,658. And recoveries in the continent, yesterday they were at 90,000, so today the figures have gone up there at 95,111. So not too bad there, but let's push it to over 100,000, at least half of that. So that is the latest, Doctor, there. The figures in Kenya continue to go up. But I think the good news in all of this is that 80% of those cases don't even require anything, just the treatment. And I think they would do well with the kind of treatment, Doctor, you keep saying your daughter had, because she wasn't in a serious state. So I think the 80% of the confirmed cases in Kenya perhaps would receive that kind of treatment.
Because there is no medicine. Mm-hmm. It's not there. It's not there. It's not there. It is, people in London are healing because of systems, not because of drugs. It's because of the social structures. There's a health worker for each 20,000 people. There's a community worker. There's a probation worker. There is a neighbor's watch who is roasting meat, and how much that smoke is affecting the estate. Mm-hmm. Those are type of structures that we talk about, which heal people. When you see someone a car coming with marked Nairobi County Council environment, you are jommering meat. The smoke is going all over every place. People add their fire for everybody to know there is a meat. And the environment guys jump out, 3 of them. They say, no, this is wrong. You are polluting the place. We want you to reduce your fire to this level. Alternatively, go and buy, what is that thing for chomaring nyama? When you're nafunika.
The barbecue.
Barbecue, yes. Exactly.
Yes.
Those are structures. They make you heal. They make you heal. In UK, that's how people were healed. Mm-hmm. You want to go to buy your supermarket, there's no fight. You go quickly, buy what you want. There's a structure. We don't have structures. We don't have a social worker who can even tell us that this is part of life. What is the problem about children? Our own children now who are in the houses, some of them, their hair has grown big because people were used to taking them to the saloons.
Yes, the barber shop.
So you, look, Miriam, these are real things that I'm talking, practical, which the Ministry of Health, apart from telling us the figures every evening, they have to expand on that committee to have all departments, almost, if it is difficult to brief daily, they can brief 3 times a week. But let all those experts in that time come and give us, they will get the confidence. Bring police officers, bring the police to be there to brief people why it is very difficult to jump the roadblock to go to Muranga. Let the police officer in the uniform tell people what they should do, what type of letters they should have.
Yes, very important.
When you are when you are presenting yourself to the roadblock in Kano, what letter should you have? Some people don't know. Some people are driving up to Kano. You find them at the roadblock arguing with the police. I am going to see my relative across. So we need briefing. Those listening to me, listen. This is my wisdom. We need briefing on every stage. We need it. Police should be there. Prisons should come. Prison officers should come. When the prison officer is telling us how he has separated his prisoners, we shall know how bad the disease is. So you don't go and commit a crime to go to that prison. How many hours are they being given light? Those whom you have separated from your sick bay. There's a sick bay in prison. Are there enough beds? Do we need the judges? Instead of coming to make noise like Mr. Maraga, you should also now have a program to be briefing us how effective these open courts under the tree have been. So that team, this should be teamwork. You know, today I listened to a tape from Tanzania.
Yes.
I don't want to play it.
Yeah, I think it's best we don't hear it. Everything that comes from their doctor is not right. How the government speaks.
I don't want to play. I don't want to play that tape. I'm sorry. I am very disgusted. That's why I did not even feel like coming. Because when you hear this type of things from people, in fact, they are talking as if they have not seen the dead bodies in Italy.
In Brazil, have they seen how even the cemeteries are full right now? How they're just putting people back to back in the cemeteries there. So I think it's just ignorance, and ignorance has no defense. That is what is happening. And speaking of COVID-19, Doctor, the front pages of the Star newspaper, Nkurunziza, 55, died of COVID-19, and it continues to say there on page 4, Burundi's outgoing president, Pierre Nkurunziza, died of COVID-19. Diplomatic sources in Bujumbura and Nairobi confirmed yesterday. The Burundi government said Nkurunziza's sudden death was a result of a heart attack, and the 55-year-old was due to stand down in August following elections on May 20th. And now, according to the government statement, the Burundian strongman attended a game on Saturday and all that. But also here on the front pages, they say Burundi officials are desperately tried to fly president to Nairobi for treatment, but they were not able to do that because the moment the wife was put on a plane to come to Nairobi to be treated for COVID-19, there's no way the wife can have COVID-19 and the husband doesn't. And you've been living in the same house and the children. So I think that was an oversight on their part to have the wife come here and him remain there. But also, Why did the government say he died from heart attack? This convicting reports might even cause some discomfort there in Burundi, Doctor. Was the government right to come fast and tell us he died of heart attack, and now they're telling us he died of COVID-19?
There are things that I don't want to say. But having been in this game for a long time, I've spent half of my age, or 3/4 of my age, as a soldier and in some paramilitary operations. I understand international diplomacy, international intelligence systems, how they work, protocols. Thanks God for having opened up space for me to be able to read them. Believe me or not, the story of Burundi doesn't add up. Yeah.
So somewhere here they say, yes.
But let me tell you this. The story of Burundi does not add up. The planner of whatever was planned wanted it to happen at this time. Think outside the box a bit. If it had happened when there was no mercy, what would be the implications? An investigator with an investigative mind begin that. Is this a natural? Yes, you cannot rule out natural. Human being can collapse anytime. It's like a car.
Yes.
A car can stop and it says, I'm not going. A plane can stop. But for the entire family to have all this, there must be a source. There must be a source. So for me, I would, if I were doing this whole scenario to write a report, I would first of all look at several fronts: assassination, natural death, COVID-19, heart attack, because all of them are different. Was there any illness?
Full play.
A man playing football, running in the field, heart attack. If you have those qualities, what are the likelihood of heart attack? You put it there. If you have qualities, okay, if it is COVID-19, how many people that the man in his office, whom he met on a daily basis, are also down? You go and look at that figure. Then you can come back. Okay, then at another stage, if you imagine it was any poison from Ukraine or Russia, which these days is well used, it could be planned that Miriam will die on Monday when we have reached Johannesburg. You can plan that we reach Bangkok. You can plan that once the needle is pierced on you, 10 minutes, you will collapse at the airport in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. There's that chemical. There are that poison. Look at the poison that killed the brother of North Korean leader.
Yes.
Because just a small needle.
And I think, is it not the same poison that killed Yasser Arafat? It was traced.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Panomia.
He was injected. He was injected. That's why when you are going in airport in buses, that's why I don't carry anybody in my house, in my car. That's why I don't mix a distance. In fact, now social distance has brought good things for your safety.
Very well, yes, true.
Yes, that's why I don't greet people anyhow. Never approach Matanga in a nightclub, in a restaurant, and greet me, shake my hand. I don't want to know you. Good, thanks God. COVID-19 has brought it. We shall use the elbow, even the elbow. I only look at you first. What elbow is that coming to me? You must be cautious.
Yes.
Because the whole thing of Burundi is a catalog. Can I call it a catalog, or what? There's a better word, not catalog, a cocktail. That's a better description of a cocktail of disaster. There's COVID-19. They decided that they will do it during this confusion. So the planners must have been saying, now, go now. This is the time. Because here they will say it was COVID. Here they will say, no, heart attack. Now government to find out, to retract. There is confusion in Burundi. The war starts. The guns start. Bam! And if we don't handle it and we don't help them quickly, it could reach that level. Yeah.
So something very interesting, Doctor, about all these government officials. Then although he appeared to recover on Sunday, he suffered from what we had been told. It was reported that the president exhibited all the coronavirus signs and was struggling to breathe when he was rushed to a level 3 hospital in Karuzi in eastern Burundi. Although he appeared to recover on Sunday and spoke to those around him, his condition suddenly deteriorated on Monday morning. Government officials then frantically tried to get him to Nairobi or to Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, but could not make a decision quickly. There was a lot of confusion, with two sides failing to agree on whether to transfer Nkurunziza to Nairobi, where his wife was being treated, or to Dar es Salaam. In the process, the president passed on, a senior diplomat in Nairobi said yesterday. What kind of carelessness is that? How did they come to the wife is already in Nairobi being treated? And we've known Nkurunziza never liked leaving. He never went out of Burundi after that attempted coup in 2015. But right now, I mean, he was no longer president until August. He was going to give up that because they have president-elect right now in waiting there. So what was so hard about making a decision quickly to either bring him to where the wife was receiving treatment, or take him to Dar es Salaam, whichever, because he got very well with President Magufuli? Why did they take too much time? Why were they taking their time, and seeing that he was not in good condition? They took their time there, Doctor, from the report we're getting.
Yeah.
In the process, he died. How callous is that?
So that could be a deliberate assassination.
That was deliberate.
You have answered my question. I put it three. I gave it 4 categories.
What do you mean there was confusion? Someone is in serious condition and you're confused on where to take him. You already know where the wife is. So most likely he would have been okay being brought to Nairobi or Dar es Salaam. He's cool. With President Magufuli, that would not have been a problem. And then you're still arguing about it and just looking at him there. And what does that say about Burundi and its health system? And perhaps now maybe the world will be opened up to what Burundi really is. It's very sad.
There's no health system in Burundi. Where? It's like tell me there's a health system in your country you love so much called South Sudan.
No, South Sudan is a special child. Leave South Sudan. That is a special child of Africa.
The nearest hospital in South Sudan.
It's in Nairobi.
It's in Nairobi or Khartoum. So by a jumbo jet is 2 hours. 1 hour and 45 minutes to reach Nairobi. So what about by car? or by helicopter. It will be about 3-4 hours. By the time the helicopter lands, and the helicopter cannot go all the way from Juba up to, it can go from Juba to Yei. From Kampala, the big ones can go. But look at this scenario. Whichever way the thing is, Nkurunziza, Burundi, there are several question marks.
Absolutely, absolutely.
2, the story is not rhyming. At the end of the day, the theory one day will come. There was an assassination attempt or an assassination. I am not convinced from the pattern of events. Okay, if the woman and the bodyguards
and the
were here, what type of treatment were they being treated on?
COVID-19.
Where are they? They have gone.
She left yesterday in the evening.
All of them,
on Tuesday.
Yeah, the records are there. So if that was COVID-19, when did it touch Mr. Nkurunziza?
And why was he being treated?
So if the woman was sleeping with Nkurunziza in the same bedroom.
Yes, in the same house.
At that time, when Mr. Nkurunziza was coming, he should have also come.
Together, yes.
So why did it delay? And then later on it caught Mr. Nkurunziza. Yet it caught the wife first. Look, if it came in the house, it all hammered all of you.
Absolutely, including the children. And now we are told they're all sick. So why is it they're saying it now? Why hadn't they sought for treatment for Mr. President there? Or he did not want to fly out of the country?
If all these people were in under one house, which is the palace, the presidential house, tell me that you rule out a poison from Ukraine to have been timed to whoever went to touch it at different times can kill. Polonium-210.
It's a deadly.
Polonium-210 can be used on doors, on their handles, on office chairs, anywhere, in your bedroom, on your car, on your bicycle. This man used to ride a bicycle. It can just be put on the bicycle. There's that runs quickly to the heart. Kapa, in a vunja row.
And also now, because the government rushed very quickly to tell us that, to issue a statement that he died from a heart attack. What records were they using to make this fast announcement? And now they're coming out to say he died from COVID-19. I think that it is the inconsistency that now will raise a lot of questions here. And let's just see.
It's bad public relations exercise. Very dangerous, bad. They haven't packaged their material. One, they don't want to be condemned for having chased World Health Organization.
They're catch-22. There you go.
Yes.
Because Nkurunziza himself chased.
Yes, because the man who chased them is dead. So if you are coming out to tell people it was COVID-19 that killed the president, the world will not even sympathize with you. So that one, those handling the PR of Nkurunziza's post-Nkurunziza,
yes,
have a problem, have a nightmare. That's why you see stories. That's why you see stories. Imagine the story of COVID is not even being said. They have labeled the COVID on the wife, but they have stuck on the heart attack
on the husband.
On the husband.
And the children are also sick, doctor. They all have children.
Then if the children are sick, bring in my third theory, the fourth theory of assassination. That's an assassination through a poison, a slow, well calculated. On Tuesday it will finish Miriam, on Saturday it will finish David, on Sunday it will finish Sam. All that is timed. It's of a very high.
And then when the wife is away, because the wife has been away since last week for treatment here.
Yes,
I mean,
the wife was not there.
A lot of questions in this story.
It must have an inside source, someone who administered it.
Yeah, even for Yasser Arafat, he's one trusted buddy. He's the one who what do you call them, Mossab or what, from Israel. They contacted him. So it's usually, well, we're not saying that is what happened. We're just trying to think outside the box and see it, because there is an inconsistency with the information that now we're getting, the one that the government issued the first statement, and now what you're hearing now. And so let's just wait and see what else they'll tell us, even as the story continues there to unravel. More so, yes.
There are gloves that you can wear, and you cannot notice that these gloves, these hands, one of these days I will show them to you, that they are not visible, but they are gloves. They have already sunk on the palm. So nobody, they look like your palm and your body. That's why this COVID-19 has brought very good luck. No shaking hands. No standing closer to each other. And then you will see people are now are going to be safe. You don't, unless you are now coming to kill me. Because when you are coming,
and now, according to one of our viewers here, Abdi Ibrahim, thank you so much for writing to us. You're saying the president died of COVID-19 with his wife and sister admitted for the same in Kenya. So even his sister was here in Nairobi getting treated for COVID-19. How is it that he remained there? Because there's no way the wife was sick and he wasn't, if the sister got it. And so, I don't know, it's just a lot. And Abdi Ibrahim, as much as somebody here, Joseph Otto, you're saying his wife and driver, I heard they had COVID-19. Can someone not make a mathematical calculation from there? And that is right. We can go ahead and assume he also died of COVID-19. But also, there is a report, an official report that the Burundian government issued immediately after his death. And they said he died from a heart attack. So it is just yesterday that now reports are coming out he died from COVID-19. So which is which? That is why we are trying to piece up this conflicting information there. But again, today we send our condolences to the family and the people of Burundi there. Doctor, we move to the Daily Nation and how budget cuts Ruto down to size. With the allocation slashed by nearly a half, the deputy president will have to reduce his travel and serve less tea to the delegations he hosts at his residence. This tea takes so much money in a lot of government offices, Doctor. It is time that people came with their tea at work. What do you think?
Because it is a free thing.
But we are paying for it. Apparently, it's not very free. It costs a lot of money.
Yeah. For example, somebody who serves alcohol to his guests buys it himself. Yeah, you can tell people that you are a very good teetotaler, but you are taking a lot of our money. Because in the government budget, there is no alcohol. There's no government that plans for alcohol. So if you have to have your drink, you buy it from your money. And that is why you save government money. But then the other place where the government money has been given for tea, people end up drinking more. That's the essence of that story.
So, okay, here's Here's a breakdown, doctor. That means I might not want to visit that office because I love my tea and I'd like to be served some tea, but now they're cutting the tea budget. So, doctor, do you have tea at your place? So domestic travel and subs.
Right now, you can see.
Yes, because I'm a teetotaler. Yeah. All right. So domestic travel subsistence, the current budget is at 193.6 million Kenya shillings. Right now, it has been revised down to 96.8 million. And then foreign travel and subsistence, 89.6 million Kenya shillings. Right now, the new one is 33.6 million Kenya shillings. And also hospitality, supplies and services, 197.8 million Kenya shillings. I guess that's where the tea is. And the new budget from 197.8 million, the new budget will be 23.9 million, development expenditure 68 million Kenya shillings, and the new one is 18 million. And just to be clear, it's not just the Deputy President's office that is will be seeing a lot of these cuts. Kenyan economy has been affected, and a lot of the money is being diverted towards the fight against COVID-19. So even the counties and other offices, I think, will be affected by this. So it's not just the Deputy President's office, but his office has received a substantive a cut in terms of the budget.
Well, the center cannot hold. That's all I can summarize.
Yes.
You are going to discuss the budget in Africa Business, which is coming at 11.
So believe that.
It's for Africa Business, the economy of Kenya, how strong it is to sustain such luxurious life. You have taken breakfast at your house, then you want to hammer more food at the office. Why don't you carry a flask? I am used to a flask with food loaded. That's why they have built their countries. For us, we tell a lot of our people, we tell a lot of our relatives to pile themselves in the city. Come in big numbers, hallelujah, come. Mtoto amepata chio. Kuja. You cannot enter a Mzungu's home, start eating food when he did not invite you. That's why they have developed. Yes.
And even
that's why we Africans are the best people on this planet. We don't send away people. You don't send away an African who has found you eating. But the Mzungu will tell you, thank you very much, Dr. David Masanga. You have found me eating my dinner. Can you sit there and switch on TV?
Yeah.
Madame Florence will prepare your meal. And unakaa hapo kwa meza, you sit down in the sitting room, and the guy eats and finishes, takes coffee, salads. Then he said, now David, can I speak to you now? I'm free.
Yeah.
For us,
I think it's our culture. We're more Ujamaa, African culture. Yeah.
Yes. We have even, I want to shock you, we have men and women who wait lunch time. Anajua Mama Freddy and Baba Freddy amekuja. And as you sit down, you want even to talk to your wife and your children, the bell rings. That's it. It's very relevant to our planning.
Absolutely.
It's very relevant.
It happens. Yes.
It is very relevant why we blame even the government up to the last level. When we are slaves, we are not disciplined. That's why we have coronavirus hitting us to 100, 150, 125. We are jumping. It's the same mindset. Miriam.
Yeah, true. And even, doctor, you would think now with mobile phones, somebody will have the courtesy to call you and ask.
Yeah.
They just show up.
That's why you need to change the laws. The law of Kenya needs to be changed in a manner that Kenya in 20, 30 years to come, if you don't have money in the pocket, you must explain why you don't have it. It is a crime in Britain to be stopped by police. And when they search your pockets, your wallets, when they are taking every account of what they found you with, then they say, okay, how are you going? You know, this is at the police station. How are you going back? You say, I don't have the money. Now that's another offense. It's a very serious offense in Britain to have no money in the pocket at any time. There was an amount which is regulated by the law. You should not have less than £1. The time I went there in 1987, less than £1. If you are found with no pound, because the bus at that time in 1987, the bus was 30 cents, 30 pence, 30, 1, 2, 3 out of £1. I remember very well our income, my income support before I got started working was £2.70 for a week. Then later on, it moved to £12.56 because a sandwich bread was costing 10 pence. They count how many loaves in, how many do you cut with a knife? 1, 2, 3, 24. Those are loaves for people who don't know. There are loaves for 12, then there are loaves for 24. Then they count a tomato, a lettuce, and so on, which you can now cut tomato, lettuce, weka. Then the people, we have come from very far, some of us. That's why we want a younger generation like Nelson Harvey not to go through this. Some of us have eaten that lettuce. Unakaa nayo kwa tumbo paka subuhi. Because if you eat double, like that song of the Christian double, if you eat 2 loaves at a go, Manasseh is in, Joseph Otto Manasseh is in Denmark. He can tell you.
Yes, and
you would have eaten all your income support that week, and you are done. You will become a thief. So when the police find you, where are your documents? Oh, Danny. So Kenya needs to rethink. It encourages people to work. It encourages people to be responsible. That when you get out of your house, if you don't have £1, don't step on the road. Because you are becoming a dangerous element on the streets. So I believe people pick up a few things from what we talk here.
Yes.
It came from the tea of the deputy president.
And all other offices here. When you go to all these ministries, we spend so much money. With flowers. Do they still bring the flowers on there? We need to talk about this, doctor, one day or soon after we talk about the budget today and see. Can we revive our civil servant culture? The flowers used to be put on the reception there and offices. I mean, I know.
Exactly.
Yeah. Every morning, fresh flowers. I don't know if every morning.
I want to ask How many Africans know the value of flowers?
I do, but that is a conversation for another day, Doctor. We have to go now.
For you,
I love flowers.
You out of so many.
No, we are many.
Very few of you know the values of flowers.
I absolutely love flower and gardening. So, but that is a conversation for next year in February. So let's just leave that alone.
Yeah, where? For Valentine's Day.
February. So now, Doctor, the Standard newspaper, of course, it's about the budget. We shall look at it at 11. So.
I think, have we exhausted? I want to.
Yeah.
Have we exhausted the Standard?
Yeah.
What is the budget briefcase?
And we shall look at that in our next show. So that's why I didn't want
in our next show.
Yes.
And when you can look at what is it that the government can do now in order to do one thing, to raise more taxation. Do we tax more people? I'll look at, if I have time, if we had time, I would have looked at what can Zimbabwe do in Africa today. Or let's look at what can a country do. Like now, we cut timber, we roll timber up to China. Then we go and bring toothpicks, imported toothpicks from China.
We import furniture from China, IKEA and all that. Do you know that? You import it to here and then you come and assemble it in your house.
No.
And they got the timber from your country. Yeah.
Furniture is very great. You need such designs. But take a simple thing like a toothpick.
Yeah.
You need only to sharpen in order to remove the meat that is stuck in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't even import it.
Mm-hmm. We import even what do you call it?
And every year in Nairobi University, we have a product of engineers calling themselves engineers. So engineer nini, engineer, unampata ameweka title.
We need to we need to use these great minds we have in the country. We need to create a system where there are things we can import, but there are things we can manufacture, so that even our manufacturing industry that is very close to President Uhuru Kenyatta. I'm calling him Dr. Uhuru Kenyatta. Perhaps he will go and pursue that in the future. But so that, because manufacturing is one of the close things he really wants to leave in this country as a legacy. So by doing so, there are things we shouldn't be importing. So if we encourage locally manufactured things, we're able to build that manufacturing industry and empower a lot of these young people there with all these skills, and all these graduates. Our universities and higher learning institutions keep channeling out every year. So we thank you so much, Doctor. Do we leave now a 11:15 there, and then we shall be back here at 11. We will look at the Kenyan budget, which will be read today, and I think other East African countries also are having their budgets today. So we shall look at that at 11. Thank you so much for watching, Doctor.
You better read 1 or 2 comments.
Yeah, it's just that time is not on our side, because we need to go and work on.
One comment before you go, of Joseph Otomanas.
Yes, and he said, Doctor, I was shocked when I came to Denmark. A brother passed by his brother from his work. He got the brother and his family eating. He was asked to take a chair aside and wait as the family were eating. Imagine your brother has come from work and passes your home to say hi. He finds you eating and you're telling him to sit aside in my society or Africa. Everybody will run away. It's not an African thing. So they have their own culture and we have our own. So in Africa, I'd rather share with you mine, or more times I'll just leave my meal to you, have it if you walked in and you're a guest, and then I'll go fix myself another one, because that is how we are. That is how we are as Africans.
Miriam, women suffer more.
Yeah, we will leave. We will give you and go find something.
Have you noticed that women, mama serves everybody, then remains with nothing?
Yes.
I've done research on this. Mm-hmm. Remains with very little vegetable on her plate.
Mm-hmm. That's the African, the
I used
mother.
to grow up looking at my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And after giving us all, she remains with nothing.
Yeah.
So why my mom loved me so much?
Yes.
I used to get mine, and she could only raise her face like this. I think inside there, my great mom could say, this guy will be very generous in the future.
Yes.
I could give my mom, but my sister could not. When they are quiet, and then, you know what? Guests have arrived. Our lunch time, you see that type of matoke,
yes,
that is cooked with sticks, firewood,
yes,
with banana leaves,
yes. Ooh,
and then
nice.
you get some lettuce, some things, pumpkin leaves, then put in a soda ash, then put in granules. It used to be very well. That's why you see today, my mom taught me how to cook. That's why I cook up to today. But she used to remain, so I could look at her plate and say, wow. I give mommy, I will not finish it. But the guests who have come at lunchtime, Miriam, they're always very many. Thank you very much.
And I just learned today that you're a mama's boy, and that is okay. We'll see you at 11.
That my mom?
You're a mama's boy.
Yes, no, honestly. He liked that. She just liked you could do anything, but not touch this David. That's why before you go, I was primary. We did an exam and I became number 2. My mom, when I brought the report, she looked at me. I thought she was going to be happy. She said, what is this? You brought this for who? Why were you beaten? Why were you number 2? That thing almost sent me to suicide. It was a rainy day in the afternoon. I went to the bananas. I wanted to kill myself. Mama alinitukana na kumpiga. And because I've become number 2, which is a position which is, she said, this is not worth it. This is our family. This, your father and I, look at the way we are in this place. We are not very rich, but we are very bright. I'm a teacher. You can't tell me you became number 2. Where my son? Where? Mama, that is a discussion for another day.
All right.
Thank you very much. You can bring it on uncensored if you want. Later on or tomorrow. Uncensored is very good for sense of humor for people. It must be one of those programs that you need to make people laugh. Because the type of news we have these days, Miriam, they only puncture our hearts. Because especially then crowned by Mutahi Kagwe Group coming to give us the send-off.
The send-off. No, Doctor, listen, we need Mutahi Kagwe's updates. It's very important.
Yeah, it's okay, but it's like when you have had a very bad day the whole day.
Yes, we have to go now. We see each other in a few minutes. Yes, bye-bye.
Bye.
Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.